Hello, my trumpet playing friends. My name is James Blackwell. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Got the neighbors over there blasting a weed whacker, so I hope that's not too annoying. I did a little warming up this morning on the lead pipe. That was fun. Playing across the lead pipe breaks. I can kind of do it sometimes. I could kind of do it today. So now I'm going to play a little bit of Out of Nowhere. Just so you know, what I've been doing is warming up about 15 minutes, 10 or 15 minutes or so. And then walking away from my trumpet for a while, coming back, and then the next thing I do is this with the camera on. And after I do this, then what I do is I'll go to the Fats Navarro solo and work on one lick at a time. So far I've only learned one of the licks, which I play all the time on these videos. And then I'm working on the second one, getting this other one. And they're both 2/5 licks. Yeah. And then back to the blowing, because I like to play the lick and then go back to the blowing. And then I find that really kind of, I start hearing it in the place. I don't try to play it in the place where it is in the solo, but I do imagine it when it comes. And then when I'm improvising, I really try to stay within that discipline of actually playing just the notes that I hear, because that's the only thing that's going to sound good in real life. Can you dig it? Here we go. That's really fast. Too fast for me anyways. Here we go. A 1, a 2. There's the lick. I need to get some new stuff here. There's a cool CD called, I think it's called Trumpet Legacy. It's a Nicholas Payton album. It's got like Tom Harrell and got him folding on his name, Eddie Henderson, the guy with the cool looking chops. I think it's Eddie Henderson plays this tune. He sounds awesome on it. So he's got some cool stuff that maybe is a little more modern. So I might go to his solo after Fats. Oh my God. Battery's dying here. Ruh-roh. We balgi bo do do de do de de ya bo da de ya. Bo do ya do de we ba bo bo de yo. Yo de do we. Oh my, uh-oh, battle. That happens to me. We da da. Another cool thing about recording these is you go back and you figure out what the notes were supposed to be that you meant to play and screwed up, like I just did. Here we go to the head out. All right, what kind of ending is that? I don't know. So anyways, that was this morning's effort, and I'm going to go back and watch that now and figure out what some of those flubs were supposed to be. That's good mental practice. You know, you don't even need to practice it on your horn. As long as you can go through and kind of know what the notes are and hear them in your imagination and just sort of know it that way, then that's all good too. That's the value of ear training. And here we go, a little product placement here. I do teach trumpet lessons, by the way, if you think that we would have fun working together. What am I trying to say here? Most of my students are adults that want to get down with the foundations of trumpet playing. Then we get into other music stuff. So the way that I teach the actual just fundamentals of tone production is I use a modified version of the Richard Schuberg Lip Trainer's book. That's kind of my favorite one that I found after, you know, playing through a whole bunch of method books. I like that one the best. I think it's organized really well, and I like the way that the exercises are laid out there. And then having worked through it with a bunch of people, you know, I kind of changed it up a little bit. And then once the fundamentals are out of the way, then the music stuff, whatever kind of music you want to learn, like I got students that do like top 40 stuff, blues, R&B, playing with their bands, trad jazz playing, bebop playing, or hard bop playing is kind of what I'm doing here. And then the fundamentals of relative pitch, that's a biggie for me. I'm always trying to get people to learn relative pitch because I think it helps so much, because once you know the musical intervals, if you can listen to something and know what the rhythms are, when you first hear them, know exactly what the rhythms are and write them out. And if you can listen to a piece of music and write it out note for note by knowing what the intervals are and the different relative pitch idioms, then you don't really need to practice that much, because your brain is always analyzing and practicing music all the day long just by thinking about it and just by listening to it. And then when you play, you can practice just like a really short and pointed tone production and embouchure development program, which only takes 15 or 20 minutes a day. And then whatever amount of time after that you want to dedicate to your playing, you can do things that are more musical, like this. Improvising, playing by ear with the metronome in the simplest way. That's why I keep playing the same tune over and over again, because first you got to just learn the melody, and you just play the melody over and over and over again, and it ingrains it into your mind and your fingers, and you learn way more than that melody. But even just memorizing little things as you go. I have a student who has been playing various musical instruments for many, many years, and just by having given him the assignment to go and memorize a simple pattern that we were working on just as an embouchure development exercise, this little scale pattern thing with a couple little intervals in it, he said it was tough. Like for a week or two it took him to memorize this thing, but then after having memorized it, he came back to the lesson and said for the first time in his life he's now having that experience of the knowing before he plays and actually hearing the things in his imagination right before he plays them. And that's kind of like the key, you know. So if you got good chops and you got good fundamentals and good mechanics, and you can do that and you tie it to your fingers, then you can just play more like you're singing, you know. So that's the goal with this, even though it's still quite slow. That's how you get good at it. You're practicing slow. Just like you practice your scales and articulation slow, you practice playing by ear slow. That's how you get good at playing by ear. So anyways, if you have been considering private lessons, I do offer a free 30-minute introductory lesson. And then after that, the most common lesson scheduling that people do is either a weekly or every other week 30-minute lesson, which comes out to $30 a lesson. Some people do an hour, but most people, we can just like really get a super productive half an hour in each week, staying accountable step by step. And the people that do it every week for 30 minutes, after about 6 months, it's like way better. And after about a year, I start looking at them like with a little bit of jealousy. I'm like, you only been playing this thing for a year? That's messed up. It took me like 20 years to start getting the hang of this. But anyways, so if you've been thinking about it, hit me up for that free lesson. Something I'm super passionate about doing. I love meeting people. And even if you don't think you want to continue, you know, the free lesson is yours if you want it. So hit me up, and I'll put a link below. Maybe I'll just stick my email and phone number below. Shoot me a text. All right? Happy trumpeting, and I'll talk to you soon.